Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Chair League. I am your host, Jayzon, back again for a Division 1 match here today. Starting off your Monday right with some Chair League action. 2+2 = team versus Murky Disco. We're going into the draft. This is just a game of one, and going to be on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So one of our favorite maps here in Heroes of the Storm for sure. Very popular map. Something that we see a lot. You know, it's a very rotation heavy map. Very wave clear, always very essential. Good to have interrupt potential to be able to interrupt those turn-ins of those gems, spawning those web weavers. Probably the least important Merc map in the game. The boss is fairly influential in that top lane, so we will often see teams prioritize clearing that top lane when they can. But Ragnaros will be the first ban out here for the side of 2+2 = team. So on the other side, for Murky Disco, gotta wonder if they're gonna ban good old Murky here. Not a bad map for him, but also not a great map. He's not an ideal gem carrier. He also is kind of a small map. He thrives really on bigger maps, so they're gonna go ahead and ban out Malf. I think that's a pretty good ban. Murky Cheese, again, not as viable on this map as it is on some, but Murky's still a decent solo laner right now. But the Malfurion gives really, really good sustainability for these objectives in those rotations. Good gank potential from Malfurion with those roots. Also good interrupt potential with the Moonfire. So a lot of good reasons to not want your opponent to have Malf here. So we do see that ban out coming from Murky Disco. 2+2 = team got their first pick here, and they're going straight for Lucio. Well believed to be the strongest healer in the game right now. He is not invincible, however. So it's solid first pick. But we'll have to see how Murky Disco wants to try to counter it. They're going to start with Gul'dan. So huge amounts of wave clear coming out from that first pick on their side. Of course, always really viable on this map. And Ariel, a really good follow-up to it. So Ariel does have a lot of solid hope generation coming from the Gul'dan. It's a good combo. Ariel also able to get great sustain out on this map because she never runs out of mana. You know, it's always just about whether or not she's generating that hope to be able to keep her team alive. In that rotation, we often see teams 4-man rotating between mid and top. So Ariel, Gul'dan, a really good start to that. 2 picks coming up here for 2+2 = team. I'll have to see what they want to get here. They could try to pick up their tank here and apply a tank chokehold. And in fact, they're going to grab at least two warriors. Zarya, more of a backline kind of pseudo support, damage dealer, tank, kind of just a hybrid of everything coming out from Zarya, and a good, a good addition to Lucio. I think Lucio and Zarya synergize well. Lucio just giving those constant AoE ticking heals, kind of like what you see out of the Brightwing, but just works slightly differently. Zarya then can get those shields out on priority targets that are being focused to be able to enable Lucio to get those heals out in a timely manner. So Vala is going to be queued up here as the possible ban for the side of Murky Disco. Pretty solid ban. Also somebody they might want to pick up. So it's probably why they're hovering it and not selecting it. They are maybe now thinking about Ariel, trying to take away a little bit of that burst damage. So going back and forth, they will eventually choose Vala. Gul'dan kind of already giving that mage role, but you also have to remember the thing about Gul'dan is he's not a mage in the traditional sense of a burst damage dealer. He's still very sustainy. With that poison damage, it does a lot of damage, but it is more damage over time than it is burst damage. So kind of fills the same role as Vala, more or less. Again, it's a little bit different, but so Li Ming might actually be their selection here coming up here. But we do have the ban coming out from 2+2 = team. After picking up those two warriors, you would think they want to apply that tank chokehold. Yeah, if I'm them right now, I'm probably selecting whether I want to ban out ETC or Varian. So it doesn't look like that's the route they're going to go. But the two biggest CC tanks in the game still up on the table. And Murky Disco having the next 2 picks. They are going to go with ETC, so they're going to allow the Varian through, which I would expect Murky Disco to pick up here. Just need a good follow-up for him. Could be something like an Artanis. Could be a couple different things. They also do still have Tychus on the table. Again, not great, not very synergistic with Gul'dan, in my opinion, but do have the double warrior over there and Diablo. So 2 + 2 = team. Not really choosing to ban it out here. Not really wanting to deny that Tychus, because they don't feel like it would be a good complement to Murky Disco's team, I imagine. Which makes a lot of sense. So I think Murky Disco here probably wants to get their burst damage dealer in one of their main tanks, but they're gonna go Tassadar. They're gonna kind of reveal their hand a little bit here. They're gonna get Greymane, so that more backline burst damage dealer. His rework to his second ult, which the name is escaping me at right now. Ghostly Bullet, Silver Bullet, something or other. The bullet one has been giving him a surprising amount of sneaky burst damage. So we've been seeing a lot of people using Greymane for that blow-up potential, and a great counter against Lucio. You know, one of the best ways to really counter him is just to focus him and take him down. He's very squishy. He has no real escapability other than his increased speed. So if you can lock him down at all, you can blow him up. And that seems to be what the strategy is here. Probably a variant pick at the end. So 2 + 2 = team. Still needs a backline damage dealer. Li Ming's still an option for them if they want to try to burst through the Tassadar shields and the Ariel heals. But we'll have to see if that's where they want to go. They are going to go Sylvanas and Chromie, so they are going with a burst damage dealer mage, but it is going to be Chromie, so a little bit more targeted, a little bit more burst damage, but with slightly longer cooldowns on the actual burst itself. The Q can provide a lot of steady poke damage, but ultimately that even after you get the reduced cooldown, I want to say it's the W, the circular one. Still only comes up every 7 seconds at the least, if I remember the cooldown correctly. So you still are only bursting so fast, where Li Ming's burst damage comes in more constant waves with her lower cooldowns. Same with Kael'thas. Kind of the opposite of Jaina, though, where the cooldowns are just so long. So Sylvanas also very good on this map, good with any pushing objective. Solid wave clear to be able to pick up a lot of these gems. But once you get those web weavers, her ability to turn off the towers is invaluable to being able to aid the push of those spiders. And so last pick here, they're actually going to go with Leoric. So Varian making it through this entire draft. Kind of surprising. Solo tank Leoric coming out here from Murky Disco. So they're going a little bit off book, going a little bit unscripted. Very interesting. I do like it, the ability to trap somebody in with the Gul'dan damage, with the Tassadar post 10 with that with the Archon, to be able to deal a lot of extra damage, and then Greymane's ability to jump in there and take somebody down. If they catch anybody with that Entomb, it's gonna be rough for the side of 2 + 2 = team. I do feel like they have pretty solid wave clear though, and good push potential. This should be a really good game here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. It's a pleasure to have you here, starting out your Monday nights. We got a lot of Chair League action coming this week, and not too long before we're going to have that Chair League highlight reel, by the way. I owe you guys one from this last week. I've been working on it. Got about, I want to say, 12 or 13 minutes built up, and a few more matches I want to watch before we throw that thing out live. Probably tonight if I had to guess, but we'll see exactly when I can get that thing finished. But all right, who's the potato, guys? Who's the potato? We are loading in here to Tomb of the Spider Queen. On the left, it is going to be 2 + 2 equals team. McNulty is going to be playing the Zarya. Flyest Raven on the Diablo. Angston is going to be playing the Chromie. Majesto is going to be playing Sylvanas. And Jelly Monster is going to be on the Lucio. This is 2 + 2 equals team. On the right, your red team for this match is going to be Murky Disco. Boop Doop is going to be playing the Gul'dan. Battle Pope V2 is going to be playing Lucio. Arya trying to hide from me there on Ariel, but not quite succeeding with the shuffling there. Houndoony is going to be playing the Gul'dan, and The Process is going to be playing our Protoss player here, Tassadar. And yeah, Murky Disco, your red team. Sylvanas instantly going down with McNulty here. Gonna get a little bit of this cheese out right away. The rotation coming in quickly and is scouted out by 2 + 2 equals team. So they get a little bit of damage out. Nothing wrong with that. Getting that slight bit of just light cheese on the bottom. Not too heavy on it, but a little bit of it out. McNulty doing a nice job of getting in there, soaking a few more of those tower shots up, making sure that ammo getting taken away slowly. And this is going to be a 2-man push on the bottom. A pretty interesting strategy coming out from 2 + 2 equals team. Zarya, very solid ability to actually get in and get some extra siege damage out and cheese the towers to be able to take a little bit of that, to be able to get a little bit of that energy out with the shields. So they're going to push here with the Sylvanas power, be able to shut down the towers, and McNulty doing a nice job of negating a lot of Greymane's damage with those shields. Jelly Monster going to rotate down here to heal them up a little bit. Meanwhile, in the top and mid lane, rotational advantage will automatically have to be gained here from Murky Disco because of this. Flyest Raven actually gonna barely survive. Wow, the poison damage almost got him there, but just enough of the health regen to be able to keep him alive. Ooh, and Boop Doop taking some serious poking. Gotta look out here. Gets hit by the Chromie sand, the sand there, and that hurts. Aikson doing a nice job of pressuring him back, forcing him to go tap. In the bottom lane, the cheese continues here. Already one of these cannon towers down. They're putting their eyes on the second one. McNulty getting kind of low. Boop Doop actually rotating down to get a little extra damage out here, and McNulty is in serious trouble. Is going to go down, and that is first blood going over to Murky Disco. Very nice rotation there from Boop Doop being able to get down there and answer to this push finally. Again, nearly the entire front wall had been taken down by Zarya and Sylv. This 2-man combo, not something that we usually see on this map, but they are kind of losing in the mid lane in response. So there's at least a nice job by Murky Disco, if nothing else, responding by taking advantage elsewhere on the map. Got to respect that out of a team. If they don't feel like they can answer to one, you just answer in a different lane and make sure you're getting something out of the deal. They do continue to push this. No ammo in this front wall. Still have both cannons at decent health, however, so they actually need to get in and get some damage if they're going to take these things down, because eventually that ammo will come back. But they're doing a decent job of poking it out, and slowly but surely getting the damage out onto these structures. Not going to see any mule coming out from the side of 2 + 2 equals team, so no need to worry about that. In the bottom lane, continuing to put the pressure on here is McNulty. The Process tickling him back with that beam, but that is going to be the end of the front wall for this bottom fort. Boop Doop getting some energy off of Flyest Raven here, life draining Diablo. It's gonna be a nice big giant hero pool to be able to take something from here. As they have also gotten the front wall here in the mid lane, so yet again, like I said, you know, maybe being but the suplex and the push, and Battle Pope just getting a little bit too far out there. Boop Doop actually just barely gonna, or Boop Doop I should say. Yikes! My apologies for that one. Boop Doop. That is kind of a tongue twister though. You gotta admit. Too many P's in there to expect me to get that one right off the bat. So we do see the rotation coming in here from 2+2 = team. This is a Division 1 match, Heavy Metal. So, Chromie gonna be taken out here. Oh, and Howdooney just barely making it out of that situation. McNulty actually looking for him with the grenades, but we're gonna see the red Webweavers coming out here. Finally getting our first Webweaver set of the game, and it is going to be going over to Murky Disco. Flyest Raven going to have to get out of that situation too low as the pressure in top is real. The rotation coming in from 2+2 = team to be able to at least push them back for the moment, but the Webweavers are going to also spawn here. Not being answered to at all in the mid or bottom lane either. Tassadar actually trying to aid the push in those lanes while the majority of the pressure coming into top as they've pretty much gotten the front wall down here, and this is a full 5-man defense coming out from 2+2 = team. It's gonna result in the level 10s being won pretty heavily here. The race to 10 by Murky Disco. And again, this bottom Webweaver not even being answered to at all. We're gonna see the entire front wall going down there to it. A little bit of fort damage also in the mid. And nearly an entire half-level lead here for the side of Murky Disco as they're just trying to get those 10s at this point, trying to get the XP, not trying to be too overly aggressive, but that is not the case for 2+2 = team. They go in deep, trying to get Boop Doop down, and Lucio actually going down. Greymane will fall in return, however, to that ult coming out, the time loop. Coming out from Chromie, able to get that ult a little bit early with that passive. But level 10s are here for the side of Murky Disco. It is going to indeed be Cursed Bullet coming out from Greymane, so we've been seeing a lot of that. Entomb, Aegis, Horrify, and Archon. Nothing too surprising, really, for the side of Murky Disco. Level 10 right around the corner, but McNulty is going to get caught out by that Entomb and is going to be taken down. Solid kill and good. Oh, and here's the Horrify on Chromie. That's going to be one dead Bronze Dragon. And meanwhile, the turn-in's happening. They're trying to turn it in the top lane, but that's a nice rotation by Greymane, being able to get up there and Howdooney get up there and interrupt that and force the retreat. Not enough gems in the pocket of Murky Disco here to be able to turn in, but level 10s have arrived for 2+2 = team. Should allow them to be able to get a turn in, but instead they're going to go ahead and rotate here to the bottom as they try and catch out either Boop Doop or Arya. And they are going to go full in after Arya in the bot. Jelly Monster and Flyest Raven going out, but they have left their team completely exposed here. There's counter rotation coming in from Murky Disco. The Entomb comes out. Flyest Raven is going to be taken down. He does have the souls to come back. The APOC coming out is going to force the retreat. Or is going to still have the retreat even with that APOC coming out. Nice job there by Murky Disco. Not getting too flustered by the heavy rotation coming in there. Oh, but Boop Doop going to get caught out in the top lane, being a little bit too greedy. Flyest Raven coming back instantly. Just going to the top lane there, presumably to start to build those souls back up, but catches a Gul'dan in the process. But Murky Disco doing a nice job on that last engage of not getting shaken too easily, and being able to group back up and push them out. They only get the Diablo, but they were able to protect everyone from dying until the rotation in there from Boop Doop. Not quite enough health to be able to be that far out in lane. Diablo take advantage of that every time. But the blue Webweaver is coming in here. 2+2 = team. Getting their first Webweaver set of the game off the heels of that team fight. And they're going to focus on this top lane. The Webweavers spawning right into the wall. Chromie going down, though. In the mid lane, I do believe. Webweaver pushing that bottom lane without a care in the world, but we do see the rotation coming in this top. The Horrify completely whiffing there, trying to catch somebody rotating out through the top there, but will not be successful. Level 13 advantage here for Murky Disco as they try and force something against 2+2 = team. Not successful just yet, but Battle Pope maybe looking for the Entomb. We'll end up backing off there. And Flyus Raven pretty deep in here. He's gonna have to back out of this situation, but it might be too late. Looks like he is gonna rotate around the very safe way. Murky Disco not willing to go that far out of their way to try and get to somebody. Level 13s have been picked up here by 2+2 = team. They're gonna put a little bit of pressure on this mid fort, and BoopTube getting caught out a little bit from that expulsion zone. And then a time loop coming out as well. Nice Aegis to be able to cancel out the time loop. We also see the shields coming out from Lucio, and everybody going ahead and hitting those R buttons and starting to poke back and forth at each other, but neither team hard engaging too hard here. Maybe waiting on the sound barrier from Lucio to fall off there, and time loop and expulsion zone along with Wailing Arrow also used here. But you can say the same about pretty much every ultimate over on the side of Murky Disco. And the race to turn in will be won by Murky Disco. And the Horrify is good to be able to zone out a couple heroes. They try and isolate somebody, but the expulsion zone is going to split up Murky Disco and really not enable them to be able to get to anybody here. And yet again, these two teams just kind of going back and forth at this point. We see the 5-man rotation to top here yet again. Consistently the priority on this map because of where the boss is located. So we are going to see Murky Disco looking to get that top fort. But we do see the rotation coming in from from 2+2 = team to try to defend it. Diablo going in deep here. The APOC is going to come out. We'll actually catch no one as Battle Pope tried to get out of there with the Wraith Walk. Will end up still going down in the retreat, however. Houndooney jumping in to try and get Flyus Raven down, but the Wailing Arrow will catch a couple and spawn the retreat here. They're finally realizing this is 5v4 and not really an engagement they want. So Murky Disco will back up. However, the Webweavers still up here, particularly the bottom Webweaver, going to have to be answered to. We'll have to see what rotation Murky Disco wants to take here. Theoretically could rotate up to the boss here as they are on the other side of the map, but will instead just rotate to the mid to try and put a little bit of damage over onto the mid fort. And they're going to get this down, actually. The rotation from 2+2 = team not fast enough to be able to save the fort. However, they are going to try to force an engagement here. Flyus Raven going in looking for somebody. He is going to catch out BoopTube. However, the Entomb going in on the other side, getting a lot of damage out with the Gul'dan and the Archon from the process. The time loop to try and kick Greymane down here. The Aegis is good. The shield coming in, but Houndooney will fall at finally there in that team fight. And we are going to see the team... Oh, but BoopTube's still in trouble here. Doing everything he can to try and sustain himself, but he's going to fall. And wow, action-packed team fighting going on here. Constant. It looks like we finally might get a little bit of a break in this match as after that 1-for-3 exchange. Very nice exchange for 2+2 = team. That is actually going to result in them going for the boss here. Death timer's just long enough that they feel like they can pull this off. They don't have a ton of siege damage, however. You know, Diablo offers a little bit. Chromie offers almost none, realistically. Lucio, same thing. He's not going to get a ton of damage out there. Sylve actually coming in is going to be their highest amount, but that level 7 upgrade. But they will be able to clear it. Again, the death timers were long enough. They will go ahead and get the boss, and it looks like they might push in with this. They're definitely contemplating it. Flyus Raven certainly not ready to give it up quite yet. They are going to spawn the Webweavers. So not synced up here, but they are going to get both of these objectives. And Leoric is going to fall here Battle Pope getting out a little bit too far, and the chase is on here. Flyest Raven trying to get in there. Sound barrier comes down from Lucio, but the Horrify gonna split up the team a little bit as this boss continues to push in this top lane. And looks like the push is on as they have gone through the front wall. The Web Weavers are going to spawn right behind this. Flyest Raven is going to be able to catch out Boop Doop as he goes down in the top of this. And this is a scary, scary moment if you are Murky Disco. Boss is still alive. All 5 members very healthy here. Jelly Monster doing a nice job of keeping them all topped off, except for Diablo. Flyest Raven, but the APOC comes in while most of the members are in the Hall of Storm. But the push is still on here. They are going after the core. The core is being knocked down here by the boss. The Web Weaver actually a little confused about who to attack there for a second. Doing the hokey pokey, trying to figure out whether or not to take down the core. But that is going to be enough. 2 + 2 = team. Only needing to win 1 team fight with that Sylvanas pick. And they push it all the way through the top to catch the win. Wow, that escalated quickly. Also, Hero Physio, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you around. But I felt like a lot of that match, Murky Disco was doing a pretty bang up job of rotating well, dominating the map. They definitely got level 10s first, but with Sylvanas, man, it's Sylvanas, that win more mentality. It only took that one win. They had that 1-for-3 exchange. They actually lost Sylvanas in that exchange, but they were able to pick up the boss, get the turn in, and with the power of Sylvanas shutting down those towers, they just pushed right through that top lane and never looked back. That top push went through the top fort, the top keep, and the core all in one swing. So very nice capitalization there by 2 + 2 = team, realizing there wasn't a whole lot in the way of counter siege damage coming out from Murky Disco and just pushing it to the max. All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for me tonight. I'm off to do some raiding in World of Warcraft. So, as always, pleasure to cast for both of these teams. Congratulations to 2 + 2 = team for picking up the big win. Murky Disco, great job of coming out and putting on a great show for us tonight, as always. And you guys can always find my casts on the YouTube channel. It'll be uploaded soon if you guys want to review it. Anytime, anywhere. Well, I guess not anywhere. I guess it's only on the YouTube channel, but you know what I mean. Thank you very much for coming out, guys. I will see you guys later. Have a great night.